What's good, everybody? I'm Isaac Lee, and this time I'm back with another review for DC's Injustice. So this is another one of those adaptations that I've always been a fan of, because first and foremost, they had the video game that kind of gave this whole story about how, you know, Superman has this tragic loss, this major disaster all caused by the Joker. Basically, the premise is that the Joker gets a hold of Superman's, I guess, wife, girlfriend. I've never really been sure about where they are in their relationship, but he gets a hold of Lois, and he basically, like, he attaches, like, the trigger for a bomb inside her, and at the same time, he gets a hold of Scarecrow's fear toxin. So in a nutshell, he has, he traps Superman to kind of make him think that Lois Lane is Doomsday. So now he basically attacks Lois and takes her all the way out in outer space. And then by the time he realizes that that's not Doomsday and it's Lois, now it's like, okay, Lois is now dead, his unborn child is now dead, and now the trigger that was in Lois's body, that triggered a nuclear bomb for Metropolis. So now Metropolis is destroyed. So he lost his city, he lost his girlfriend / wife, unborn child. He's just lost everything. And now the biggest thing, the most notable thing about this is that when Joker's in questioning with Batman, Superman shows up, fist right through the chest. And now he basically just he's all about, like, you know what, forget all these rivalries all across the world. It's more than making it a police state. He basically makes it a police planet. At least that's his plan. And, you know, from the video game to even the adaptation they have in the comics, you hear about these two regimes, because it's really like a civil war. It's really like a civil war. Some of our best heroes, it's like, okay, some people are siding with Superman, talking about how things could be better, and some people are siding with Batman, talking about how, okay, you're being a dictator. And we get the initial story in the video game, which is done very well, and then we get a more elaborate version with the comics. They went all the way up to like year 5, like really going deep into it. So now when you're gonna do the movie, it's like, we've already seen this play out. How are you gonna do this? How is it gonna be different? And I think it was only like, what, 78 minutes? And the thing about the pacing is that when you do something like this that's had the comics and it's had the video game story, it's like, okay, you're kind of competing against yourself, because how do you tell your own story better than you? It's like, when you do something like this, of course the first thing people are going to do is they're going to compare it. So there was some things that was like switched around, like, for example, the famous chess scene. In the comics, there's a chess scene between Superman and the Flash, and it's basically a philosophical conversation they're having while playing chess. And Superman's all like, okay, we can get rid of guns and that'll save lives and stuff like that. And Flash is like, yeah, but you're kind of messing with free will and they'll resent you. And Superman's like, yeah, but they'll live to resent me. So he starts asking them questions and things like that, like, okay, well, what about smoking and dogs being left off the chain? Like, this whole conversation they had in the comics, but in the movie, they kind of switch it out to where it's Superman and Mr. Terrific, and he's basically given the exact same dialogue. I don't know why they switched it, but yeah, he's given the exact same dialogue about, okay, what about smokers? What about dangerous dogs left unchained? What about people who don't recycle? It's like, where does it end? What about people that speed? Like, these are other causes of, like, people that get killed all the time. My one gripe, and it's not even a gripe against the movie, but if it's one thing that puts me on Superman's side, is the fact that, should I even say that? It's evil to say that's something that puts me on his side. You know what? Scratch that. What I really want to say is the fact that, here's the thing about it. This is a man who's faced immense loss, and they go to the extent of just playing it off as just being a tantrum. They have some flashback to where a young Kal-El, he's missing his blanket. I guess, you know, his mother was just putting it in the wash because he was so inseparable with it, and he couldn't find it, flips out, and then flips over a tractor, and that's the first time they actually see his powers. And after all of this, he's in mourning. Of course he's not gonna be so logical in his thinking. He's emotional right now. But the fact that they say, oh, well, he's just having a tantrum. I was like, he lost his city, he lost Lois, he lost the unborn child. The very origin of this man is lost. He lost his home world of Krypton. It's like, It's like when you start losing so much of the closest things to you, of course you're gonna like, when you lose that much and on top of that you're super powerful to where you can just you can control things the way you want to, of course you're gonna start taking things into your own hands. And I understand there's gonna be some pushback, especially when it comes from Batman. That's where he's getting the most pushback from, because he's like, you're wrong. And at the same time you got Diana, you know, Princess Diana over here, Wonder Woman, she's just already just ready to do whatever Superman wants. The man is in mourning and she's still trying to make her move on him. I was like, come on, Wonder Woman, like really? Like, this man is in mourning. He just lost Lois not too long ago. She's still trying to make her move on him. She's willing to do whatever he wants. There's a part in the movie where she even says, your will be done. And Superman's like, I'm not a god. I'm like, I was like, see, that right there is what takes off some points for Wonder Woman for me. I was like, come on. I'm like, come on, writers. Why you doing like that? There's a scene where Batman even swings on on Superman. Of course he fractures his hand. He's all like, let me see it. No, don't be you. Just let me x-ray it. I'm like, but the fact that the pacing, I feel like, is a bigger issue, because they make the whole thing seem like it was just what, a week and a half, and then he just says, okay, just put me in a whatever type of prison, and when you need me, you know where to find me, stuff like that. I'm like, it was the pacing. I felt like this should have been, there was so much material in it that to condense it down to being under 100 minutes, it did it a real disservice. It was almost like too rushed, and there was so much material. There was so much area you could have went into. I mean, I had fun with it. I got it in my collection right now. But aside from that, yeah, it was cool. It wasn't his best. I'm not gonna be too much of a fanboy and be like, oh man, I loved it. I mean, like, it was okay. It was okay. Would I recommend other people to see it? Sure, why not? But at the same time, I would also recommend that they also watch the story mode of the Injustice game. I would also recommend that. But it's kind of middle of the road. It's not their best, not their worst. It's right there in the middle. But at the end of the day, those are just my thoughts. What are yours? If you like what I had to offer, hit that like, subscribe at the bottom. I'm Isaac Lee. This is The Rundown.